Nelson Tool, very fiery young man.
So, Sabadale, the Saba boys, Franco de Diai, Madui, Sazito, I say, Chiaju,
DJ Square Production Classic. Yeah.
about that January by trail, about that January by trail, all that January by trail. Asuku Made Ade, Asuku Made, Asuku Made, Asuku Momaya Abio, Momaya Abia, where you do, Momaya Abia, where you do, Boy Muabia, where you play. Asuku where you will, the Apamwe where you will, Ajiwe where you sababo, be that you where you sababo, Amande Amesonba, Asuku Made Ade, Asuku Made Ade, so Sazito, Ojiwawa. Sazito, you are de amu, toke le tebi a palu, sawema. Sazito, you are sababo, so ade, ke pasho, ke tibuso, asawema, ke apame na monwe ilea, inge Sazito ke amudeo, inge Sazito ke amudeo, amade moye monanu, amable moye monanu. Asuku Made Ade, ki apame no se si on bon. Mama ablio, ablio, mama ablio. Mama ablisiano moye blea. Asuku Made Ade.
Nelson Tool, very fiery young man.
Asuku Made Ade. Asuku mama tuloble. Mama to no play away sababo. Mama to no play away sababo. So go Made Ade, Banu Loyon Day, Sazito, no Loyon Day, Efanzo so one Loyon Day. So I get my way. Natano play, so they be play. No one will have one day. I say my way ma. Thank you, bro. It's something to okay. Snap on my swag. Then mama saw it by Toina. Yatainu. Asuku Made Ade. Banu Loyon Day. Sazito, no Loyon Day. Ola play where you're waiting. Ola play where you're waiting. Asuku Ojiwe. Enyi blebo ize jaboji, ula nyok matati emwe jatuja. Ablion ojiwe o. Onu Loyon Day, Sazito, onu Loyon Day. Ula play where you play. Mama ablio, mama tobio, ablio, mama tobio. De tobika, de Sazito. Hello, Sanizo, Sazito, onu Loyon Day. Ola play where you play. Ki apame no se si on bon. By your way, Panu yonda where you way, Panu yonda where you way. Oh, Made Ade, Mama be where you mona nuzo. Oh, Made, Ananda Kawe, I will away. I don't like a way out.
Good morning, folks. Samson Toll, Liberia Public Radio here again. We're ready to rock it this morning. As usual, we're getting dressed here live, by the way, folks. Again, those of you that are watching this morning, we say thank you for waking up and staying with us. We really do appreciate it. Those of you that are watching, thank you very much for tuning into Liberia Public Radio. It is a continuation of the historical context from my perspective, that is. I'm not saying from yours, but from my perspective, for what I know, and as I've stated before, and I will continue to say that I think God has blessed me a lot and continue to bless me. When it comes to Liberia politics, yes, the facts here. I am the grandson of a Parliament chief from Town Town, from the the first Parliament chief in the whole of Biai district. So those days, you don't play around. But I'm the grandson. So I get, and as I was growing up, of course, I wasn't born when he was Parliament chief. He died many years before I was born. However, the respect was there. Our quarter has always been respected. Um, According to the story, when he lived at his Basaibli, at his grandfather town, which is going towards Zodro on your left hand, up the hill there on your left hand. When they moved down to the real area, now what is Toll City, the folks decided to name it after him, Toll Town. Okay, but anyhow, that's besides the point. So as I stay there, I've always been blessed, and God has always blessed me, and I'm wonderful, grateful to God for that. But we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Again, thank you for joining us. Safety, safety. Lord Jesus, as we come before you again this morning, we ask that you continue to extend our life. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you for the blanket of mercy of us for giving it. My Lord, we thank you again this morning. We ask that you continue to guide our tongues, our thoughts. My Lord, these subject matter are very, very difficult. And we ask you to take all emotions out of our system here this morning. These are some personal issues that we're going to be discussing. Help us, help our brothers and sisters to understand that these are very difficult subject matter. As we come to discuss these things, my Lord, we ask you to continue to guide us. If we have any hatred against anyone, we ask that you guide that, take it out of it. If it's envious that comes out of us, because we're human beings like any other person, guide us, take it out. We want to thank you for this wonderful, wonderful day. We'll continue to ask you to bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, folks. So as I was saying, and so God's always been blessing me. Growing up, I didn't see Southtown War, so forget about that one. But I listened, I heard about Yabaro. He was in Firestone, and we were way into town. By the time the sun started going down, my mom would start packing everyone or lock her up. Yabaro, they don't know what Yabaro was. The man way in Firestone. People in Grand were scared. So I witnessed that. I also witnessed the tax system in Liberia. Up to this point, I don't understand the tax system in Liberia. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I witnessed people paying taxes. They call it hot taxes those days, and I also witnessed those who were unable to pay the kinds of treatment that they received in my town, Town Town. I witnessed that, and I think that particular aspect of the Liberian history that I know affected me so much because I told you guys, my mom used to have $10 from up to the time she died here in Canton, Ohio, about what 1920, almost 20 years or so ago. On her lapa, in front of lapa nose, $10. It's always there. No matter how broke she is, that $10 is going nowhere. Of course, I used to, yeah, borrow the $10 from time to time. One time I borrowed the $10 and put a piece of paper there. So all she have to do was just feed it the lapa. No, and it's still hard. That means that the $10. No, but on a very serious note, when we were in Town, there was just one incident. They brought a guy from all the way from, I don't want to say because if guys children are here and I know sometimes they watch me, I don't want to call his name. But they brought him to Town because he didn't have the $10 at the time. And they put this guy on the ground, tie hands behind his bike, kneel on the rock in front of a flagpole. The flagpole, I got a picture here. The flagpole. And they asked him to look up into the sun. and that didn't satisfy them. They decide to put piece of steak on his shin. They want the foot that between your knee and your ankle. What I want people call shin. So they put that stick and they tie it from both sides. And the guy started yelling. My mom went and paid the $10. From that point on, every time they bring somebody, whatever they come from, she would make sure if the person don't got to do it, she would pay. So that affected me a lot. Not only from being sympathizing with them, but that the $10 I'm supposed to use to buy to get small thing to be able to buy a 1 cent, 2 cent collar to go to school in the money. But when I asked her, she said, "You got money," but then she would take the money and pay for somebody. That affected me seriously. From that point, when we traveled to Monrovia, she and I, when we traveled to Monrovia, the way we were treated, people were treated in Nima County. There's a city in Nima County called Groy. When you get to Groy that time, everybody in the car will get down. Everybody will get down. And those who don't have horse tags, you're not traveling to Monrovia. Then when we leave from there, then we get to what they call Kissy Boy. Carisbury, folks. Carisbury, but I'm calling it the way the people they call it Kissy Boy. When you get to Kissy Boy, and people don't have still because we're not pick up some people from Ganta all the way now. So those now, and you get your head tax receipt. You're not going to the city of Monrovia. So I do know. Then we moved to Monrovia. That time I don't even know how to read. I was still growing up. I still don't know how to read. I still growing up. So, back I'm my own children now too. So my grown up business now, I calm down now. I stopped the grown up business now. I don't want my children then to find out that they don't know that I used to be grown up boss. So you're not tell them. They don't know. All they know their father is an engineer. Eh? I guy here that one that run your business. You're not worry about it. Okay. No, but see, when we moved to Monterey, when I moved to Monterey, I have no knowledge of what was happening. Then, not too long after, the progressive came to town. And let me just tell you right now, I am one of those foot soldier young men don't know how to read but can get messages from power office all the way to Nuclear and things like that. The people say, power say that I was one of those that used to go from places, power say, no, well, what a letter, who care for letter? Oh, the people say, oh, I what the people say that one of them, the people say, oh, the people say, want me, oh, that I was one of those, the people say. But the progressive came to town. And then when the progressive came to town, they started talking about how the separation of us, because those days you who are you to question how the two-way party and the people treat you? You can't question. You have no rights, none whatsoever. You should be grateful that you even walking on quota in Monrovia. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so they started telling us that the quota and sour you see that your money, that your pardon money, that your man their money, that I don't need your money. Oh, what are you talking about? Yeah, then it started going a little bit deeper. And then I started associating that kinds of conversation with what I witnessed in total. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And I bet I wasn't alone. I wasn't alone. So, the two party system in Liberia, they didn't have a system where they will allow people to express themselves freely. And I will tell you later on how in Grand Gila County, there was two incidents that I witnessed in Monrovia, two-way party. One was a selection, not election, selection of Albert White and my own cousin, Mr. Campbell, Baba Campbell. How Baba Campbell was, Albert White was selected that night. Albert White being senator, Baba Campbell being representative. I was at a two-way party. I was there when I heard John Bell then strongly resisting that. I will tell you that story. Don't worry. So anyhow, when I was there when the rest riot started that Saturday morning, I was one of the few. In fact, when I got there, not more than 20, 30 people were at the place already. So I watched it. I didn't see the end because they drove me. My brother drove me off the street and told me that when I come back in the street, he was going to be the one to shoot me. Then any other person, then other people coming to shoot me. He was going to be the one to shoot me. And then there was a lady, a crew lady. When we were the house I was living in, she was on the other side. You know, it's a big house. The room, each of us have our own room. We pay $35 per room. So, and she told me, Samson, this young man, I told you he's very serious. Don't go back out there again tonight. Don't go back out. I decided to stay home. But I saw the beginning of the rest riot. Then I also uh, saw her explain to having not involved, but knowledge. Not my knowledge based on the coup of 1980 is huge, very big, very big. After that, I left the war. But when I came here in the United States, the first year I was here, that wa yo wagawa dagado I forget school business. Why am I can't go to school and enjoyment here? Eh? For what go to school to do what? All the enjoyment here, I'm gonna leave here and go to school. I beg you, man. Football. Tabela come to power. Adona gave me power. Adona gave me power. You better watch out, BV Bobo. Samson to coming to get you soccer. Adona gave me power. Adona gave me power. You better watch out, Fisi Bobo. Samson to coming to give you soccer. Oh yeah. When we start riding, I want to call the other members. You must say we know each other, we can fire on it. But when we start riding from Rhode Island, going to New York in a car, that's so. Why am I can't go to school for? I got football, I can't worry myself. But so where they may calling me? So okay, folks, hold on 1 minute, please. Hold on 1 minute, please. Ah, my goodness, folks. Into one of our regular listener call me say he want to hear that Adona give me power. He get mad. But we have to put forward this. I know it's very serious. But anyhow, so I hear play football. Then something happened. I came by. The second time when I hit this country, I was like this, right in the middle here. If I fall here, I go crazy. If I fall here, I remain Samson tall. So I was right in the middle for over 2, 3 years. I was right in the middle. Everything was serious. I start smoking. I start drinking. I don't associate with people. Everything was very serious. Where is how many school Benny I can go to in America? But I got no people. But I wanted whatever university you put, I was ready. I was ready. For I started regretting about my days in Rhode Island going over football business here and there. But that was God doing. So, but interestingly, the person that I was staying with, was one of the founding member of the Progressive. So all of the communication when it comes in, those days they used to write letter. They would have landline, the phone you can pick up, you go there, click it, click it, click it. Around the down that are late 80, but the one talking about you click it. Those days when you're ready to use the phone in the street, you put 10 cents in it, then you call. Because you have a phone booth. Yeah, you ain't see nothing, man. Yeah, you see nothing. They got phone booth. You go in there, you put 10 cents in there. When you ready to call Liberia, 25 cents. I think 2.50 cents for 10, 20 minutes or something like that. Okay. So the progressive, the guy started taking me for ULAB meeting, for county organization meeting, whatever it is about Liberia. I started sitting, going to this meeting. I was young, but I was attending the meeting every weekend. We go to Chicago. From there, we go to Rhode Island, from Philadelphia, whatever, New York. We go to this meeting, and every time we go to the meeting, before I won't sit down in the front. Okay. But after that, after some, I was sitting in front. I was I was there when the Folao, they want to call Folao in Ohio. Things secret, I was small, but I was involved. Okay. So when you go to this meeting those days, everything about Liberia will be discussed. My interest was what happened to me. I didn't care about anything else. Why happened to me, to my brother? I wanted to know. Is it true what they say about him? So I thought, okay, go to this meeting and listen. So I started attending those meetings. And as I started getting involved, my knowledge of the politics of Liberia was not only in Liberia, but it was dirty here in the United States. When we go to meeting, Saturday in the morning, we start at maybe 9, 10 o'clock. People don't leave until 4 o'clock. And what do they achieve? What exactly would they achieve? Zero. The other person did this. That person can't do this. But the progressive, they were very serious. They've always been this, what they wanted. One man, one vote, because they believe. I got a bunch of people. You always see something in a place. I pray to God for a long life. You always enjoy. You always see it. I got letters here. Bunch of letters. They were writing to each other. One of them wrote and said, our aim should not be to take power in Liberia, but we should instill, to educate our people to be able to understand the Constitution, to be able to understand the value of one man, one vote. That has always been the case. One man, one vote. But I didn't know what a one man, one vote. What do you mean by one man, one vote? Toward the TUBMAN can win. When TUBMAN red will win. Yes, the other thing too, we party people. Yeah, only what is it? 30,000 out of 1.5 million. They're 30,000. But when TUBMAN election, we got 1.5 million in Liberia. Those days. When TUBMAN win the election, he win over 3 million people. Where they come from, I don't know. Don't ask me. So anyhow, the progressive continued to educate me at the time. One time I was in Rhode Island, but at that time when I went to Rhode Island for the second time, I was there for the purpose now. I was not no football. Yeah, I still play football, but it was not like if I play football today, I would get sick. The first time, if I play football, that I can't talk to people. But the second time, football now all to it now. It was different now. Not all wah. No, it was different now. It was different. So there's a guy in Rhode Island called Sam Cully. St. Cully is also from Lofa County. What not that because he's older than me, so I'm not gonna call him friend, but he find out that I was engaging into all things Liberia. When we go to meeting, I question. I want to find out. So he started polling me. He was the president of Rhode Island community, Liberian Rhode Island community or something, whatever they call themselves. But he was the president. So one time he asked, will you be willing to go with me to Philadelphia for the ULA convention? I said, yeah, of course. So it was me, Sir Johnny, who's now with President Bakai. Calling Sir Johnny, you go ask him, he will tell you. Because Sir Johnny, I knew Sir Johnny when he came from Minnesota, he came to Rhode Island. That night when he traveled, that night Louis Shoro, Harrison, and myself went to meet him. So he know who I am. He can't tell me, say he knows something too. But that's besides the point. So it was me, Sir Johnny, and myself, and him. He drove. We went to Philadelphia. We got to Philadelphia. We left Rhode Island around about maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. So we'll make the 9 something morning stuff. So we got there. We went in. They had a conference. Ironically, that conference was held at my cousin Oliver Poor. He's still there in Philadelphia. At that time, Oliver has a nightclub, but it was in that nightclub building, in his building, where we had the conference. Tom Woyu was president of ULA. So Tom Woyu brought in a tape recorder those days. Those boomer the people used to carry in a show. It was about this big. And he brought it in that time. But there was a particular group of ULA members. I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up because when they go to my grandfather from Nima County, I know Gil. I grew up in Bapa, so I know Gil from Mana. But that particular group from Atlanta, made up of Mana and Gil, Nima. So Tom Woyu opened the meeting up, and the discussion was that Doe needed to be removed. And it doesn't matter what it takes, but Doe needed to be removed because they believed that Doe was getting ready to steal the election. And so we're going around the room, and they came to me. Well, they pointed me out as Samson Toe, the brother of Nelson Toe, who Doe killed. Gathering sympathy for me now, because that kinds of meeting, they want Doe to be removed. Doe killed my brother, and therefore, you see where I'm going with this? So I stood up. But this is one. This is, and I'll go back to the formula trial now. But this is one of the things that I say God has blessed me. So I stood up. I wish those days they have Facebook where people, because I know we're going to be screaming. But before that, there was an incident before we started the process. There was a guy in Philadelphia called Amos Connor. Amos Connor from Grand Judy, of course. So he was coming to attend the meeting, all white. White hat, white shirt, white pants, the slipper, all white. They say Amos Connor will not attend. He shouldn't come in because he's a spy for Doe. And that created, Amos Connor say, yo, who are you to tell me I can't come? You got power here to tell me I can't come to the meeting, to ULA meeting. You know who started ULA? Man, y'all move from them, man. And they back and forth. You can't enter. So, of course, Tom Woyu say he's a member. He's a Liberian. He's going to have to attend. So, of course, but that group, the group didn't want, they were from they were the Atlanta group. They had a guy. He wore his hair just like South African. You know how you have Afro hair, but you shave this side and the hair going like this. That's how, I don't know his name. I'm just telling you. But anyhow, so they asked me, what was my own feeling? Folks, you know, sometimes when liberal talk, I feel with myself, my kids can attest to that. Not that I'm a witchcraft, because I don't know anything about witch business, but I have some intuition. I have something that will come out of my mouth, and I feel, sometimes I bet many of you do that. You go to a place or you see something like, have I not seen this before? That kind of feeling. So the eyes. So I told them, I said, I know don't murder my brother. But let's put that aside. Everybody here, especially the Atlanta group, I stated that they want to go out by all means possible. If it means to fight, to go fight. I said, you think I something to from Total Grand County that all of you over there, the man and the girl, you want to out. Don't live, though town is behind Total. When you're coming to Grand Gila, you will say Total people excuse. When you're coming for you, we're going for door. And that way you want me to sit down here that I will support? Because I know that when time comes tomorrow, you will not say they want that from door play or they want that from the other place. All Grangians, you're coming for them. And I'm not going to support that. And therefore, I will say no. Let's find a peaceful means to up the ante now. Tom will say, okay, thank you, Mr. Toe. So what did he do? There was a cassette tape. On that tape, Doe was narrating the story between him and Ellie. Or they call yellow woman. Oh, the people talk to the yellow woman that was my woman, but I don't do anything with her. Hey, I don't do anything. She's free to do it, that kind of stuff. Oh, as soon as the group from Atlanta heard that, this is the kind of person that you saying here. What kind of feeling? Where is your feeling? I said, my feeling with my people. I will not sit down here and say yes, go ahead, because I know what will happen. You can't tell me that when you're going to go after Doe, that people in Total who are also Grangians, you say you're from Total, yeah, oh, you're Nelson Toe brother there and sister there, you're excused. You will not do that. And I spoke my mind that day. We drove back to Philadelphia, but of course the conversation from Philadelphia to Rhode Island, among three of us, it was still cautious, but my mind was there. And so I've seen it. So I believe when we came back, 1 week later, I went back to Ohio. When I got to Ohio, another friend of mine. Now this guy, his one story is a little bit interesting. He was born here, U.S. citizen, pa and mom, U.S. citizen, pa and mom, real American. But he was like 4 or 5 years old when the pa was hired in Lamco. So that whole, I don't want to call that name because people know who they are. That whole family went to Lamco, Yekepa. So in fact, he considered himself Nibadian anyway. So, but he was a good friend of mine. He's still my good friend. Still one of the best friends. Still in Ohio. So the next thing I knew, Tony had a free Liberia T-shirt. They were selling T-shirts, and that money was supposed to be used to contribute for the war effort. And I asked him, I said, what is, oh, my man, what are you? That man got to go. We're selling the T-shirt. We're going to remove him in Akron. The next day, it was all over. You go to Grand Gila Association meeting in Philadelphia. When you look around, people are wearing the T-shirt, free Liberia. They were wearing the T-shirt and the sweater, free Liberia. Free Liberia from who? So I've seen it. So I'm not going to say that I saw the war. I wasn't there when the war started. I didn't. I mean, I was here. But I believe strongly that July meeting in Philadelphia of EULA, I believe was the starting point. I truly believe that. Okay, but let's move on. So I just gave you this other side story here. Let's move on. So, well, basically, the reason why I gave you this is that I've been blessed to be able to witness a lot. To be able to witness a lot. I was also here during the war. Now, when they started finding it, I will bring another, my cousin, I will bring him on here one day. He was the president of all Liberian Conference. I've used to attend those conferences of how to resolve the war. Samson told. But anyhow, let me go ahead and okay, we got one and a half more hours. Let me go ahead and go into quite recently. There was an exchange by a guy, Hab, I think his name was Hab or whatever his name was, between him and Formula. And if you, those of you that are young that probably don't remember much about whatever, don't even know much about anything, Formula didn't just come into the thing here yesterday. Dr. Formula didn't just come into this thing here yesterday. And I'm going to read about his father here this morning. And you tell me, he went to jail when he was 16 years old, at a very young age. The way his siblings were treated by the government of the Republic of Liberia. The people charged a baby. They taking the security were taking diaper off of the baby, believing that that formula was hiding some stuff in the baby diaper. This is your government, TUBMAN government. But I'll go into that. So let's go ahead. Welcome, Samson to Liberia Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again. Let's go ahead. We got some story here. So let's go into the trial of formula. I told you guys already. And one of the things here, your team, we are Madam Sally or President Waka. Your team, the sycophant in Liberia, you think it just started? No. Before formula, the only person who was really, and that's what I keep saying, and I'll call this young man name. People might not like it. That's my feeling. I believe what's his name? Stanton Witherspoon is the youngest, is the modern day output of the Republic of Liberia. People condemn me, but you go ahead and condemn me. I don't mind. Call me whatever name you want. But I believe Stanton Witherspoon. This drug business will finish. Anybody before you put your hand in the drug business, they will think about Spoon Network, what he has done to the drug issue. This is how you clean society. And he's continued to do his part. I truly appreciate him. You know, I don't agree with it. But he crew man. What kind of tactic you want him to be civilized? He crew man. He put some spite in there. That crew man. What you want? You want him to come get, this. No. He tell you as it is. Your homie, I go jibo. He tell you. That crew man, but sometimes when we're talking, you have to say, who is this one? What that person come from? Then you go to their tribe. What exactly? When was the last time you heard say grandma somewhere and you see crew man in it? Where in Monrovia? Now, maybe not now, but those days, where in Monrovia, even Waterside, Benson Street, Broad Street, if there's any confusion, big time confusion, people yelling and saying, who you want to tell me you're not found crewman? If you found crewman, most likely you'll be ahead. You go to a crew town and say you want to start Tabata, and when they finish with you will know yourself. Go to West Point and say, man, I beg you, man, you don't know crew people. So, but anyhow, he's for me, it's like modern day Aberport. Now you say, but Aberport those days used to challenge, and this one he's not. No, Aberport challenged because he wanted some information. He was writing for a newspaper, and the people don't want to give him information. And the best way he can do it is do that exactly what was get information from people. And TUBMAN used to say, how you get that information? It's supposed to be secret. You're putting him in jail. So it's the same thing. Witherspoon getting information, passing on to us. So I really do appreciate it. But that's what I'm saying. That's your young people. This is how what's his name? Costa started that. Now Costa owned a situation a little bit different. I'm not going to compare the two of them. Okay, but it's a little bit different. But that's how we move. Now let's go now to family trial. Okay. And those who were responsible for family trial, and then if you want to blame family junior for his involvement with the progressive movement, then you don't know anything about Liberia. In fact, I would suggest that if you do that, then you don't know anything about human feelings. The ass has told they treated with the way they treated me, the treatment pilot, and I know boy, I ain't involved. Man, I big up. What you learning for? Where you vibe, man? Vibe warrior. Then you want family to close him off after he finished achieving all these things. He's a PhD. After they treated his father like that, kick him out of a society that he fought so hard to be part of. He didn't bribe people. TUBMAN brought him on board because of his education. TUBMAN brought family on board because of his mind. This is what we call merit. He didn't pay car. He didn't give people money. But the jealousy among the Americo-Liberians, believing that he doesn't belong there. That's all it was. That's all it was. So they believe that why this vile man he will be ambassador to Kenya, Kenya, Uganda, and one other country. They came to the country for what? Because he was educated and knows his job and knows it well. But they decided to bring him down. Because why? He was not one of them. And these are the people you come, sometimes you write on Facebook, the progressive damage us. The progressive damage our country. Do you know what the progressive have done for you? They save your country. Yeah. You say, but where are we now? Well, I agree. We will get there. Liberia will get there. Yeah, we're rocking it here and there, here and there. We go to war, we'll come back, we're still rocking here and there, but we will get there. One of the things we're not going back on. So say one, so say all. Ain't happening in the lifetime of the world with respect to Liberia. So say one, so say all is gone. Died 1980. One man, one vote. If you can convince people, I don't care what are you doing with chicken soup, what are you doing with sardine, what are you doing with baby top, it don't matter. As long people come out and vote for you, with clear indication that this is a competition, that you have an opposition. One man, one vote. So as myself being a progressive, and I'm still alive, when I see your thought about a progressive, I will stand up. One of the things, on a very serious note, most of the people most of the people that were involved in the progressive life were young. In the process, they sacrificed their family lives. I know so. I saw them. Some of them today, they are kids, as educated as they were. Some of them were teaching at the university, but their kids are unable to come up the way they're supposed to. Why? Because when they're supposed to pay attention to their kids, like on a weekend, they're going from conference to conference here in the United States, driving most of the time, so that Liberia will be able to get one man, one vote. That is the sacrifice that many of you running your mouth, you weren't able to make. Sacrifice these people are making. And when we go to the conferences, their pen zipper is locked. It's not like today. I go to the conferences, your zipper down already. Let me show my money. let me leave that one. Yeah, man. Young people there, you don't know anything. You come, blah 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 blah. No. These people were working. They got family. They were going to school. Many of them. I remember there was an incident one time in this picture here. This picture here, folks. Let me put this picture up. This picture here were taken during the conference. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my people, come on now. Okay, come on. Where is this picture, my people? Well, I need it. I can't find it. Well, I don't need it. I said, oh yeah, yeah. Hmm. I cut this one off, but there was there's a when you we next time. My God. Okay, all right. I can't find it now. This picture here, but I wanted to show you all the folks on. Okay, I'm going to be looking for it. Uh, there was a conference that was held in at Akron University. Okay, at Akron University, uh, with Dr. Tipote. I believe Dr. Sawyer. Yeah, Dr. Sawyer was there. The only person that I didn't see was Dr. Formula, and there's this guy from Germany. They call him Dr. Kort. Kort. In fact at that conference, he wanted me to go back with him to Germany to move to Germany. Yeah, I said no, I can't speak German. Coming to compliment saying the hit lot stuff over there. No, I ever. So, but okay, I can't find this picture right now. I'll try to find it before the end of the show. But at that time, there's another gentleman. I think I showed a picture at one time. There was another gentleman. They call him Dr. Mike Slowan. At that time, he was at Kent State trying to do his PhD. Okay. So Mike Slowan also, we used to play football and things like that. But anyway, he was on the picture as well. Okay. It was, and then Gabriel Nimlin, former minister of information during Doe administration, during PRC time. He also used to stay at Kent State University. And the moderator at that time was Milton Teji. Milton Teji, as you know who Milton Teji is. So one of the funny things that night, that afternoon, was that Milton Teji will let you, just like me, when you talking book, big English, then you let you not bother you. Or you go there and start speaking simple. Say, okay, your time out. So one of the speaker recognized that he's from the United States, a white guy. He recognized that. He said, "I think if I want to stay long with him, Mike here, I have to go deep into my vocabulary here this afternoon and at least speak like Dr. Sawyer or Dr. Tibo said. Maybe then I'll have the opportunity of people are laughing. But anyway, that's those are the kinds of conferences that we used to go to. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me go into formula. So, in the formula case, as you all know, he was accused of sedition, treason, because they believe that he was. Tubman said when he was in Kenya, he allowed the Kenya opposition to use the Liberian embassy to pass paper from one person, whatever it was. But they accused him of that. So let's go to the trial. I told you guys that I gave you the background the last time. And one of the things that happened during the time, the background I was talking about, Tubman was so good at pitting us, the native, against each other. And we still do that. I don't want to put politics, but look at the drug issue. The drug issue affects all of us. But look at our position, each of us. If you are a government supporter, you have different stand. If you are from opposition, as though the drug will not affect opposition, nor will it affect the government. Why are we not speaking with one voice on the drug issue? We are accusing each other. This is not something new. That's what I'm telling you. So during the trial, before Tubman was successful, first he engaged the student at Cotton University that they should come out and support. And the student leader from Cotton University wrote a paper that they support Tubman. And the thing started spreading. Before you know, you have over 10,000 Liberians, especially from the countryside, gathering in Monrovia in support of Tubman. Family are not bringing no coup just because they say he was sedition. Just because they say he wanted to overthrow the government of Tubman. Where you get that kind of thing from? Because they wanted him out. But let's go into it. Let's go into it. I hope this will be the last one here. This day today. If not, if I can't finish it, I'll finish it. I got time. I got time. Guys with me. I got time. But let's go ahead. So it says here, the trial of Henry family, held by virtually everyone as the most important ever to take place in Liberia, understandably arose widespread interest. On the morning of June 10, 1968, how old was I? 1968. I was 200 years old. 1968, hundreds of people filed the countryside of the Temple of Justice. And with that, we did the same thing. But anyway, Temple of Justice, Monrovia, imposing courthouse. You understand? And you see the big house, a big Temple of Justice. But those days, people, you come from the countryside. When you come, okay, think about it. Think about it. Those of you that grew up in the country, your house in a village, round house, the top of the roof is over here. Then you go to Monrovia. Then you look at the top of the roof. You can't even see the top of the roof. Then you say, the first time I went to Monrovia, my people, when I saw it, I said, what? What kind of place they want here? Then on top of that, I got lost. I followed because I used to be in the barracks. So I followed the band, they'll come up when they're ready to go bury somebody, then they bring the band from the barracks to play band. And I followed the band. We went all the way to Mama Point, take the body from, from Anderson or something. Well, I don't quite remember. But we took the body from Mama Point, we were bringing the body to Central Street. So they brought the body to Central Street now. The band were going back to the barracks instead of me to follow them. I want to go walk about now, my people. I left Central Street. I ended up on Ken Johnson Road. I don't know where I was. They kind of cried that time. From Ken Johnson Road to the barracks, my people, it will even take me 2 minutes. I just go as well, just follow my Donald Street straight because I was right there in front of Oreo. I just want to follow my Donald Street straight and go on UN Drive, and you had the barracks there. I started crying. Hey, what kind of trouble? My mom will die. Hey, I started crying. Luckily for me, my cousin who in San Rosa now, him and his buddy, they came. Said, what happened? What are you doing? Why are you crying? I said, I don't know my way to the barracks. The other one started laughing because, Jackson do the pay, started laughing. So, your way to the barracks. So Jackson said, don't laugh. The man crying. So they left him to the barracks. But anyway, so the point here is Monrovia, you come from the countryside, Monrovia is big for you. But let's go on. Let's go on. Oh, I'm telling you. So anyway, so Formula were at the Capitol building. The crowd waited. Okay, it was at the Capitol on the front wall beneath the national emblem and symbol depicting the skill of a justice, with emblem in the huge letter, the motto, "Let justice be done." Now, the interesting thing was, according to other story, the student from the university, he has some supporters. Don't get me wrong, but they were underground. So what they used to do, they were, the booster collar, they got one big pipe. So at night they will go and write on that pipe, on the pipe, a concrete pipe. They will write free formula, and then they will go. Sometimes they go and make some paper. Then they will say at night, people will read it. Oh, it used to irritate Tubman and his security because I don't know who's doing it. So that's one of the things the children were saying. Let justice be done to all. Okay. The crowd waited impatiently for the defendant to arrive. There was an exciting, almost an electrical in the air. Armed soldier and policemen and a large number of security agents whose identity everyone knew managed with the crowd in The quote here, indeed, the size of the crowd itself heightened the feeling of excitement. Whether it was justified or not, Liberians felt that the eyes of the world were upon them, and the dream that was about to unfold, the drama that was about to unfold in the capital. Everyone was anxious to catch at least a glimpse of Henry. And Henry Formula, according to the story, he's a big guy. He's a son of a vile warrior. When I tell you, I say, vile people know boy, you don't believe me. A son of a warrior, have educated himself, was an ambassador. And they fell within themselves that he was not part of that. Two-way party was doing that. Okay? All right, so, and if possible, to hear the case against the men who stood accused of seeking not only to overthrow the TUBMAN government, but also to exterminate the ruling American-Liberian majority as well. Or minority, I'm sorry. So, not only that, they say, oh, the man, he want overthrow. He will kill all of us. Y'all want overthrow? Y'all wait till 1980. Why are you rushing 1968? Why are you rushing for? You people were not sincere. You didn't want people like us to be part of it. We're all Liberians. But you wanted it all for yourself. And this is some of the thing. This man have educated himself. He was not there to carry pure water. He was serving his country duly as a citizen of the Republic of Liberia. But yet still, there was those that came all the way from Barbados. They were not even Liberians, though. They imported them. You go read the story. They imported them because they didn't have numbers. The Americo-Liberians, they felt they were too small. So they imported people from Barbados to come to Liberia. And some of them now, they believe they are Liberian and they are more Liberian than many other Liberians that were even born there. Their father born there, their great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, oh, there. But these people from Barbados, they believe they are more Liberians than they like a family. And you blame Dr. Family Jr. for being part of the progressive to dislodge the adequate government that is unable to feed its people. The government only care for Monrovia, believe that Monrovia is in Liberia. Believe so say one, so say all. And you want to sit here and blame the progressive? I say congratulations to the progressive. Let's move on. When the defendant finally arrived, family coming in now, the crowd was not disappointed. Henry Formula was an impulsive mentor, bearded and bastard. He looked very much like the intense intellectual that he is. Oh, you know, sometimes when people who can write, sometimes they can tell you things that. Let me read that one. Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, important government official, minor civil servants, and a good many ordinary citizens crowded the main floor. People were sitting down on the floor. The trial was not easy. People, and this is what they wanted to do. This is why sometimes when we treat each other with disdain, some of us feel it. They want not only they want him out, but they wanted to disgrace him, and they wanted to make him an example to the many of the country people who are educating themselves. If you don't fall in line, this is what's going to happen to you. So they allow people to come and witness and watch. Man, okay. All right, so let's go on. Main floor of the chamber. Large number of young people seated in the gallery. Many of them students cutting classes at the University of Liberia, a few block away. Across from the 12th jury said the member of the press for the for the most part Liberian newsmen, but also including journalists from writers American Français Press, June Africa, and Writers. There's a picture here. It's not clear, but I'll put out a picture. It shows family and the people, everything, but it's not clear. Okay. George John Africana. Have you guys heard Africana name before? George John Africana Dennis, a distinguished Liberian jurist and magistrate of the Criminal Access Court. When I say Criminal Access Court, okay, presiding. Leading the process. You're listening to this name. You're listening to this name. And now you will, when I start reading this thing, I want you all to follow. Please help us. Because things don't happen in isolation. But if you're not able to put two to two together, then you have confusion. Just listen to this. Leading the prosecution was Jean A. Pierre, Liberian Attorney General. Jean A. Pierre, what happened to him? He was one of those executed on the pole at South Beach. He was Chief Justice then. He became well known from this case. From Formula case. And one of the interesting things was, and I will read that as well, what he didn't take into consideration, that Formula himself was a lawyer. And that you're not going to put wolf over his eyes. And this George John African and Dennis, even though you were one of them, but he wanted to follow the law. Amen. Liberia, sometimes we wouldn't have few, just like in this government. Okay? Just like in this government. You have people in this government. What did I do? You have people in this government. You have people in this government that want to do the right thing, but they are not many. And you have the other flackaje, then plenty. So sycophants. Plenty. This sycophant business are not just now. So let's go ahead. GAAPA. Listen to the name I'm gonna be calling you. But I feel bad if you were born in the late 70s, early 80s, you will not know the name real well. Okay, but let's go ahead. Okay. Liberia Attorney General, supported by E. Winfrey Summerwood, County Attorney, and Councilor O. Nathan B. Davis, and Mr. Donson Riches. Mr. Formula was defended, curiously enough, by 3 attorneys, all of them, like himself, Aboriginal. Okay, so, but here's the thing now. So, before Formula got a lawyer, TUBMAN, well, because of the issue, none of the lawyers in Liberia wanted to represent Formula. And the international community started, because TUBMAN then was carrying their knee as we support freedom of press, freedom of this. So people start questioning, okay, then how come they men going to court? Nobody really wanted to represent. So TUBMAN got angry that the Liberian Lawyer Association are trying to spoil a knee, because nobody want. He started pressing for people to go in. So the 3 guys, okay, but they're from the way he did to the Congo people don't want to defend him. So Momolu Cooper, that he also Momolu Cooper, who is also a countryman, M. Formula Jones, who is also a countryman, and Grace Richardson, who is also a countryman. So the trial opened on the note of hostility. Samson told folks, we're having a good time this evening. This trial itself was open on a note of hostility. Okay, why? I wonder. Mr. Formula objected to the entry jury panel on the grounds that all of its members belong to the Tui party. Liberia, man. Man, no, you can't do anything without truly having fun. You cannot do this thing without having fun. So, like I said, I told you guys already, Tutman is a lawyer, folks. Tutman, I mean, not Tutman, but family is a lawyer. So he said, oh, that kind of game you're coming play here, come bring two party people here, things said the jury. I beg you, man, we are coming full here. My goodness. Yeah, so what's his name? Formula is saying no, I can't have that. You're coming here. Your all your member. It's just that today, okay? Unity Party arrest me. Hmm? Then I go to court. But I love behind. I see more Ali as a jury. Eh? I look on the other side. I see what's his name? Dr. Luther Tappe, the jury. I look on the other side. I see what's his name? All of the top government officials who are members of the Unity Party are sitting down there to judge me. Even I'm a fly by night, just like my own fly by night lawyer here. Okay, but let's go ahead. No, but on a very serious note, when Formula recognized, they said, "Well, what a minute, are you guys serious? You're gonna want to try me for which this carrying a penalty of death penalty, and you want me to sit out here for you to bring all your two party people to come judge me?" Okay, so he said that these are all members of two party and were either prisoner prisoner or employees of the government. He claimed, moreover, that the journeyman had taken part in the nationwide demonstration against him. Hey, man. Hey. He said the people yesterday they were in the street demonstrating against me. Then that in one night you can't bring jury here for them to be above me. They're able to judge to say that I'm not guilty if I'm not guilty. Okay, so those were the kind of argument that Formula was making. Okay, in part of nationwide demonstration against him, which occurred before the opening of the trial. The selection of such person, he asserted, was a breach of one of the fundamental principles. The man no book. But that sounds into it. Well, you think you're coming to fool the man? He asserted was a breach of one of the fundamental principles of Liberian law, namely due process, which had the weight evident before it rendered a verdict. Okay, dismissing Mr. Famler objection was a novelty. The Attorney General, Mr. Pierre, Mr. P, and I don't know if we're gonna have time because I'm gonna be opening it up here very shortly. And GAA Pierre in one of these things. Yeah, we got a long way to go. In this trial, GAAPS stood up, and I'm going ahead of myself right now. He stood up publicly in the trial and asked the question: Who sold us? Who sold the slaves? Who sold us to America? How did we get there? You see what? So now this trial formula now, they're using it as a means of revenge. These people have never been serious about us from day one. And that's why they never really care for us, the country people, from day one. From day one. Even some, when you go and read William Yanu book, read William Yanu book. Let me see, where's the book? Okay. The book is called Mitigating the Legacy of the Misguided Vision, the Case of Liberia. Read it, William Yanu book. Read it. Go and read it. He will tell you. These people, but they were always like, there was also some Americo-Liberian to say we must not carry this thing like this. We call ourselves Christian. We call ourselves civilized. Let's bring our brethren to be part of this, so that they will understand. If we don't do so, I believe it was Joseph Jenkins Rower that made that statement. If we don't do so, we will regret it tomorrow. You think that they are tomorrow talking about? They were talking about the future generation of the American Liberian regretting their behavior. Let's move on. Okay. The Attorney General, Mr. Pierce, asked the defendant with heavy skim if he would prepare to have the case tried outside Liberia. You see that? You see that? He want to be sarcastic now. Where you want the case to be at? We want to try it. We want to go to Guinea. Like when something told Red will tell you, oh, you want to go borrow people from Guinea to come and rule our country. This is the same thing. Nigeria has become one formula say all of your jury, they are two-way party members. These are the same people that were in the street yesterday demonstrating against me. And instead of Mr. Pierre, who is the Attorney General, to try to calm the situation, to say we would make sure that the case handled honestly, is the way you want to we try the case outside of Liberia. No, go try the case in Grand Gita County. Don't try the case in Monreal. Well, you know, I don't even trust the Grand Gita because they already petitioned. The Grand Gitans have already petitioned TUBMAN. TUBMAN has already, he just been inaugurated and they had inauguration party, but Grand Gitans have already petitioned him to be president for the next. That I don't want you want to. No, they will not take the trial over there either. So the presiding judge overruled lawyers for the defendant foreground and okay, here's the picture over there. The case for the prosecution, the first witness for the prosecution was Nathaniel Baker. When I'm calling these names, you please pay attention. The first was Nathaniel Baker, chief of the Executive Action Bureau, a government agency concerned with the personnel efficiency. Mr. Baker testified that as far back as 1962, the accused had plotted against the government. Nathaniel Baker, I say Baker, I don't say anything else. But when I call these names, I want you to pay attention to it. Please help me out. Okay? Plotted against the government and that he had once told a European friend unnamed that he formerly was disappointed in Liberia's failure to take leadership in West African ambassadors. Formerly alleges the witness criticized his government economic policy as poor and disgracious and lacking forceful economic nationalism. Well, maybe, but he didn't say it like that because he's a nationalist. Okay, all right. This state of affair, Mr. Baker claimed, formerly attributed to the political and economic denomination of the country by Americo-Liberians who had taken over land belonging to the Aboriginal and converted them to large rubber estate. Their only concern, he felt, was with maintaining themselves in power. The men lie. You're put together and get fired to 99 years or 255 to 255, 99 years. That y'all get fired to that kind of land. Then you took people, you took people land, your body land, the one your partner got the rubber farm, you pay for it. Then when family point those things out, even if he didn't, if he point those things out, then he's gonna come and bring that into the case. I wanted you say the man want to overthrow the government, but you're bringing family say the people stole land. That stole land business, you're coming to try the man on. These people were never sincere. I told you. Let's go on. And then you want to sit here and say the progressive have damaged your country? You should be grateful to the progressive. I say so. You should be grateful to the progressive. Because of the progressive action, you were able to have 4 successive elections. Madam Selly, Mr. President George, we are, and now President Wakai. Seamless. When they say when Taylor soul, right? No nyaga in between. Oh, going like that. Now then you say, but Mr. To, Well, look at what we have now. It's not the issue what you have. It's the democracy. It's not who's leading and how they lead it. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the system broken. For example, if there was election tomorrow, will we not have an election? Will we not have some semblance of fair and free election? One man, one vote. Who gave you that? The progressive. Let's go on. I'll soon be opening the line. If people want to call, they will call. Those who don't want to call, that's fine. Okay? So, that was a claim of Mr. Baker. The family not only wanted to overthrow the Americo-Liberian, but that he said the Americo-Liberian converted the people land and turned it into a rubber farm. Okay? Let's move on. Where was this one? Okay, let me. His felt was with maintaining themselves in power and with oppressing the country people. According to Mr. Baker, Mr. Formula had the country original intent to challenge and, if possible, to supplant the present government, thereby putting an end to Americo-Liberian control. That was their fear. That all they try, well, all about, they're scared that their control of the country, 30,000 voted 1 point something. 30,000 people. They were afraid that formula will come and put the end of their rule. Their rule that only allowed them to stay in power for life in a country. Mind you now, they claim to be democratically a governing process. These people, our own brothers and sisters. When you go to see when they're ready to have party, the kind of clothes they can wear, you will not see no country gown and thing. When you see country gown, that one is a different party. Who are they? Why do they behave why were they behaving to us like that? Because they believe they were superior. We were the inferior citizen. And therefore, they have the right to treat us any way they want. Any way they want. I mean, I'm very sorry that the war came. I wish many of you, because the younger Liberians are very intelligent, very smart. The young Liberians, very intelligent, very smart, highly educated. I wish they had been there in the 70s so they can see. So they can see. Every small thing, we're going in the street, when President Waga say, I'm going to fly there. Where you flying for? Where you going? Who money you using? I wish these people would have gone back to the 70s. Someone don't fly. Someone ride boat, yacht. And I will read about that yacht here. That yacht business. I will read about it. And you sit down here and see the progressive damage your country. First thing, how can somebody damage something that you never had? Tell me now. How can you say the progressive damage your country when you never had that country? When it was never your country in the first place? I can see the Americo-Liberian blaming the progressive for helping to dislodge them from opposition. Yeah, I will understand that. But for you, somebody from Total, then you say the progressive damage my country. You owned Total before? Let's move on. Mr. Baker also testified that Ambassador Baker, please. slip a tongue. Ambassador Waka never charged anything. He's always been a decent human being. Slip a tongue. We're talking formula. Okay. Mr. Baker also testified. This is 1968. Anyway, how old was Mr. Maybe you were 16, 17 years old. But let's move on. Mr. Baker also testified that that Ambassador Formula had attacked the government open door policy, describing it. Now, these are some of the things, though. Now, these people, they are not serious. They were never serious. On I will take down here today. Intellectually dishonest people they were. The 1952 election. Okay, it was it 51 or no 1955 election. The disgruntled two-way party member, the one came up and said Tubman was selling the land, was selling Liberia to foreigners. But they criticized the open door. So the people, Edwin Backler, then that Charles D.B. King, that criticized Tubman. Why you not go to them? You're coming bring your own formula here now. Intellectually dishonest. That's who they were. And the progressive came and said, we will show you how to argue from an intellectual standpoint. They're going to make it with a progressive. They decided to use the state power. They decided to use the state security apparatus to frighten, to weaken the progressive stand. It didn't work. By the time they realized the progressive idea have infested the entire security apparatus of the Republic of Liberia, they have no choice. Go up and count down. Two-way party day was numbered. They were not going to stay. And interestingly, they also refused to see the light. But yet, when the two-way party, disgruntled two-way party seen themselves, they say that Tubman, now they bring it on Baker not making anything, you know. Baker also testified that Ambassador Formula have attacked the government open door policy, describing it to his unknown European friend. He called it Margaret, which favor only the Americo-Liberians and brought no benefit whatsoever to the masses. Furthermore, it also it allowed foreign investors to take all their profit out of the country. Oh, they won't sound like today. Liberia. This Baker testimony of 1968. It sounds like Baker testimony of 2026, when they bring contract and they give it to foreigners, and the foreigners take all the profit. My people, wow. Liberia, that's small case, that's small case. And that one Alexander coming king say, you doing one thing over and then you say you a G. Are you a G? Oh my view. It's good to read these things sometimes, because when you read it, you say, well, what have we changed anything? Nothing. The only thing we have achieved so far in this range of achievement in the democratic process is the one man, one vote, as far as I'm concerned. But let me go ahead and I'll open the line. So, so they say foreign out of the country. In February, Baker had accompanied Mr. Oliver Bright. I told you when I'm calling his name, you're going to listen to me. Mr. Oliver, and who was Oliver Bright, by the way? In TUBMAN administration. I will show you that too. You're going to remember his name. Mr. Oliver Bright, Honor Secretary of State for Administration, to Nairobi, Kenya, to investigate Ambassador Formula activities and to have a look at his personal papers. If I may, not your notebook, he can write. So he used to write observe stuff and write. And sometimes he published papers for the indigenous, the country people who trying to read small, so they can get something to read. Not A. Dory Banks, Henry, Susanna Louis, right? Making flag or whatever. Susanna Louis making roll. Let me have bigger, man. I don't want to start, but let's go ahead. Okay, so look at his paper. Their trip was undertaken after the Attorney General have received two anonymous letter, identical with uh, um, identical with one received by Israel ambassador. You see that thing? They come and start again. Israel ambassador. Although they denounce Israel, those letters certify, criticize Liberian economic policy and warn that the Americo-Liberian will be wiped out. It gotta be dramatic, wiped out. You're able to wipe out Congo people in Liberia. They are our brother and sister. We mix. They don't realize that, but we mix. Go look at some of the people. If you go into the Congo people history, you look at them. They're not really Americo-Liberian. We mix. They got some Baza people calling themselves Americo-Liberian. They got some Peda people calling themselves Americo-Liberian. They got some Lama people. They got some Crown people who believe they're Americo-Liberian. So how you wipe them out? But those are the kinds of dramatic value they put into the trial for family to be removed and be disgraced. And you're blaming his son, who has also educated himself and now have the power, the brain power, to be fully involved and was successful in educating young Liberians to resist the two-way party yama yama, to resist the one so say once so say one so say all, to resist the 30,000 ruling for life. And you want to sit here and say the progressive damage your country. I'll stop here for now. Let me go ahead and open the line. Folks, give me a call, 916. Let me see here. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for your call, I will continue to read. Give us a call here, 916-533-2048, and we'll go on. Okay? 222, criticize Liberian community, blah, 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 wipe out the American, wipe out the land, blah, blah. Okay. Mr. Baker declared that the signature of the two letter were convinced. The government, Mr. Baker testified, had received confidential report from Nairobi that Ambassador Family was also writing a book which was highly critical of Liberia. Baker told that President Tubman remarked at the diplomatic reception had put Mr. Family on alert. Okay. But those are people that were testifying. Okay. So Mr. Baker testified for almost two to 3 days straight. Okay. But I'm looking for something here. In addition to the letter addressed to Nkrumah, Baker said that several volumes of Chinese. I need to read the one here. The one is very interesting because during his testimony, Mr. Baker also said that family was engaged with the. You see, this is what we do, not only in Liberia, but I believe, Nkrumah was overthrown from Ghana. And the Liberian government now wants some sympathy, wants people to sympathize with them. So now the Nkrumah was overthrown, but he was in Guinea. So now they want to bring him on board, bring Nkrumah into this fight of trying to remove Dr. Family, but they want to connect him so that the Ghanaians now will be in favor of Tubman. So that the Ghana government will not be one of those in West Africa objecting to the way family was being treated. Okay, So again, the trial itself is a testimony to how our brothers and sisters felt about us. Okay, how they felt about us, and so the like of Gene AAP, there are more here. There are more of them. Plenty here. Okay, there are plenty here. Gene AAP, Washington, uh, Nathaniel Baker. Um, by the way, I also have a connection with the Baker families, but I'm not gonna say who. Okay. Like I said, we're all connected. Some of the Baker family made us to be where we are today. They help us and help us to get whatever education we can get. So we're connected. But they didn't realize that the fact that they were able to help some of us, they didn't realize that their action towards other brothers was just not the way to go. But anyway, a former classmate of okay, yes, another one here. A former classmate of Henry Famulus at the University of Liberia, the Honorable Wellington Wellington Camber, okay, the Camber family, director of the National Intelligence and Security Services, was the third witness for the prosecutor. Who's the second witness? Okay, all right. Mr. Camber allowed himself a lengthy prelude to his testimony, calling the jury attention to the turbulence, disturbance, the war in general, and Africa in particular. So what he was doing there was bringing in a pan Africanism into there. So when he put it on Dr. Famula here, it will fit. But Dr. Famler and his lawyer have already, in their mind, the jury was not impartial anyhow. So let's move on. In his own words, in his country, he said, on signed leaflet. Now that's another interesting thing here. On signed leaflet. Now, you think those people will survive these days social media? Two-week party would have been run. They will run. They won't even have a war. They were not going to be overthrown. Two-week party will run out of Liberia by themselves in this day of social media. A big here in this day of stand on Witherspoon. Two-week party are not going to survive 1 minute. Listen to this. This is on signed leaflet. Violent in expression was shoved on a shelf of night in little dark corner, threatening to if they will write something and put it on a rock. Liberia. I'm telling you, my people, I'm telling you, they will write something they said. Hmm? The LU students, they said they will write some paper and wrap it and put it on the rock. That Martin Colley will write something and put it on the rock? Leaflet for people to see it in the morning. They do it at night. Then the people see it in the morning. They say, oh, but then they accuse the man of trying to overthrow. Okay, to violent in a letter, dark corner, threatening to do violence to the president of the nation, the vice president, the chief justice, and other high-ranking government officials. Sycophants all over. In view of these occurring, the state security agency began to investigate the situation and discover that action were on the way to create group base on tribal function so as to engender disunity, discussion, and discord in the country. Oh my goodness. Formula triangle. He said, according to them, Oh, if we want to do good, only the 5 people. Only the 5 people, the people from came out. They're the only person that will fight in the interest for the entire country people. What sense does that make? Go look at the coup maker. Go look at PRC. That's little crown people. No. And that kind of thing. Like I said, too, we probably lucky. Lucky. Mike Zuckerberg wasn't born that time. And Mark Zuckerberg has established Facebook and social media the way it's going now. Google, Earth, Google, and all that kind of stuff. Two week party will not last 1 week. The witness also said that his agency had noticed since February 1968 no less than 2,673 communist infiltration from Eastern Europe black country had entered Liberia. Where were y'all when the family brought up you? 2,673 Eastern. You see where they're going with that? Because those days, the Soviet Union, the Cold War, they have the Eastern Bloc and they have the Western Bloc. The Eastern Bloc was the Soviet Union and his people. You see what they're doing now? So they're saying that because of family and the Eastern Black European are entering into Liberia. What were your immigration? Why were your immigration allowed people? They come through the forests of Vi country to come to Liberia. Oh, they are intellectually dishonest people. Let me move on as we get close to closing this. Let me move on. Yeah, they will not call me because I'm not calling government. I'm not calling government official here today. I'm calling government official. They will not call. So the Eastern European black that are coming in Liberia, the white people. So family, who is a fireman, is leading them through the corridor of the Cape Mount via country, so they come to Monterey. What kind of nyama is that? You're in control of the immigration offices. How these people come in? Do they have passport? How they come in? How do you even this? And if you find them, what did you do? Let's find that out. Let's find that out. Kema alleged that several letters of similar content have been sent to American, Israeli, and the Nigerian embassy, as well as to the USAID office in Monrovia. One letter here, the Biafra, you see there, these people were just wicked. The Biafra war in Nigeria, they come and put it into family trial now. So part of Nigeria that are affected by the war, they will now go against family. Flaka J. Fisi. Okay. One letter here, the Biafran as the most heroic and courageous people. Another stated that they are existing an underground movement through which the Aborigines will retain their land. The prosecutor introduced copy of this letter into court record. Attorney General Pierce, that's GAAPN, Mr. Kemmer continued, also have received a letter. Okay. So, also received a letter that the Americo-Liberians were preempting land belonging to the country people in order to convert them into large rubber plantation. How many times you will tell this thing? It claimed that the Americo-Liberians were depriving the country people of their revenue. Hey, I told you already. What you want me to say again? And when people pay taxes in total, you can put schoolhouse over there. May I beg me? Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Samson told like Republic, what's your name? Where you're calling from? Are you calling about a show?
Yes, this is Prince Sharif. I'm calling from the East Coast. I'm calling about the show.
All right, go ahead, sir.
So let me first of all use this time to extend my thanks and appreciation to you for the level of education that you are providing for most of us. And I'm going to say, even though I was not born in the 90s, some of these things, by the grace of God, we saw them, we heard them, and we had an interaction with some of these people. But I think this kind of education is what our people need. It will actually help to give us a clear reflection of where we're from, where we are, and where we intend to go. And these are the kind of education that we must all yield and we must all praise, because these are sober reflection of our own history. This is history being explained in the simplest term. But to the issue, Mr. Toe, as you narrate some of the ordeals that those of our brothers that we refer to, quote unquote, progressive, went through in the hands of, a tyrannic system that one would say maybe was the True Way Party and etc. It is clear that these people during their days, they did exceptionally well, and we must commend them. But this is our own frustration. This is our own, piggyback, like someone would say, of what happened, especially when what they fought for was in place or was in their hands. It is unfortunate that all that you are reading about how our brothers, they were, suppressed, and you are a living witness of what they went through, because you are a living progressive, you are one of those people that we have in our midst. But it is unfortunate that the same behavior that was being perpetrated, against our brothers, that is the progressive, by the so-called, true way people and the so-called elite, when they were given an opportunity to emancipate their people and speak and stand for the people to transform their lives, it was unfortunate that those same behavior that was muted against them, they start to portray it and to perpetrate it against their own people. I gave an example. Let's look at Dr. Fambule, when he was actually, nominated or was appointed as, under the regime of the PRC, President Samuel Kando appointed him. The question we should be asking, how did he use that particular leverage to ensure that every Liberian, especially those who were the majority natives and living in the rural area, that they were able to benefit education-wise? How was it used? Did these people use their, let's say, proximity to power to ensure that at least the fight for the downtrodden masses, did it happen? These were some of the problems that some of us are having even up to date. When they were given the opportunity, like take for example, the father of multi-partyism, even though sometimes people don't like to acknowledge him on that, Gabriel's Backup Matthew, because we understand, that is a whole different topic for a whole different day. But at the end of the day, when the likes of, Gabriel Backup Matthew, they were given the opportunity to serve Liberia on the international front, how did they represent the ideology of the commoners? How did they stand for the commoners? What was their fight for the commoners? Yes, they fought from the very beginning to ensure that their people are liberated and to point out the ills. But when they were given the opportunity, they were so very relaxed. Somebody will say they were so very complacent to the extent that they allowed the wealth and their proximity to power to overwhelm them, and they enjoy the honey so much to the extent that they who were the victim became also at a certain point in time the victim master too. There's not victim master people around. Okay. But it's a long story we are following, and all thank you for this education.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prince. We appreciate it. Again, folks, Prince Sherry brought in some very interesting point here, which I do appreciate. But I do have the reason why I'm smiling, because I have documentation that will speak to that. But the reason that I'm doing formula stuff here, and I'm not going to go into the defend portion of it. I think once I'm done with the prosecution, the defend, you will get to understand. Then I'll jump into the top era. The reason why I was smiling, because when these people overthrew the government and brought in the progressive, remember now, in fact, let's go a year before that, during the rest riot, back Moja and Pat were not on the same page. Moja position, from what I have here, was that they needed to slow down. It was just like if you know the history of the country we're living here. Okay, hold on 1 minute. Good morning, Samson Toll. What's on your mind? What's your name and where you're calling for?
Hey, Mr. Toll, how you doing? This is Aaron Povler from Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Last conversation, you remember I called you like, I think, probably a couple of weeks back, or a few weeks back, and I asked you what Mr. Langway were on the show because I wanted to ask him about if he knows somebody by the name of Augustine Yinswa.
Yeah, go ahead. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's one of my oldest brothers. The reason why I'm calling partly is because the family story you're talking about, I don't know about it because I was the father, the dad. I remember the song when I was a little boy. My brother, who's in Minnesota now, he was in the Minnesota PD for all his life, all the time he been in the United States. He just he retired a few years ago. Andrew Jackson. He was one of the students that family sent to Libya. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, from the Moja group. I remember vividly. I was a little, and my mom took me to the airport.
Did your brother say he was in Libya training?
I don't know. They said they were going for school. That's what they told the parents and stuff like that. That's what I remember. They said they were going for school, and his name is Andrew Jackson. Those are my. That's my older brother from my mom's side. His name is Andrew Jackson. Anyways, long story short, I'm just talking about it because, the last time I called you, I spoke about Augustine Yinswa, another brother of mine who worked with Charles Taylor. He was one of the representatives that died in a car accident here in Pierre Fakate, if you can remember.
Right.
Yeah, when Charles Taylor came back, yeah, that was my older brother. That's the one. There's one person between he and myself. My older sister, she passed too, by the way. So, sometimes when I'm talking about politics, it's not just because I play soccer, so I just want to talk about politics because, from a person we are in power. I got a deep rooted, root to politics. Even my dad, my dad, if I can remember when I was young, was a little boy, my dad was chair for one of the Tory party wing. Because at the time, if you don't, like you're saying, if you don't join them,
you got nothing. Yeah,
you got nothing.
You're going nowhere. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're going nowhere and stuff like that. So my dad told us those stories back in the days when I was growing up. So I just wanted to make that reference and add that my family been into the politics for a very long time. Even though I'm the only soccer player to play up to that level amongst them, but every one of them were all, political science student, student of history and things like that. I just wanted to add that. But thank you for the conversation. It was nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron Brooklyn. Thank you very much. Maybe because your sibling didn't join they didn't play football because they were involved into Liberian issue. And Liberian issue, once you get in it, you don't have time for many other things to do. It's not, so. But let me go back. Aaron, thank you very much. And this is what we're going to do. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to do this show. Because many of you that are involved in the politics and what have you, or conversation about politics and what have you, many of you don't know this story. And so it's better. Why? Yeah, we still talk about drug here and what have you. But how did we get here? Did it just happen overnight? No, there are some stories behind it. And there are other brothers, like, for example, William Yanu wrote a book. So what I'm doing here now, okay, I'm going back to read these historical papers and what have you, and hopefully people will understand it. And no, I mean not that they will be able to able to understand the entire history of Liberia. No, but from my perspective, okay. So, Prince Sherry, you're quite correct. But I will get into that because I have documentation here to back up what I'm going to say about the progressive when they were involved with the two-way. I mean, with the PRC. It was a dangerous. In fact, their involvement with the PRC was more dangerous to their lives than they were on a Tubman administration. Because Tubman administration, according to some of the letters that I got here, Tubman administration, they believe that they could intellectualize the conversation, whereas the PRC has no, you're not intellectualizing anything. So it was a very dangerous. So what they did, and I'll just tell you this little bit of it, and I'll go into that. So what they did, and let me go back to the day of the how do you call it, the rice riot. So that night, according to some of the papers that I've read and some of the things that I know, Moja have visited Power headquarters, but they were not able to meet with some of the high up. But their intent was to advise the Power leadership that you can't put children in the street. The same thing Oliver Bright argued a year before. Told Bacchus Mafia and his group, you put these people in the street, we have no mechanism to be able to control what will come out of it. And in fact, Oliver Bright used the word, you open a bottle, we're not able to put it back, the gin bottle. But I'm saying this to say that the progressive themselves were never fully into one ideas. There were those among the progressive felt that the speed was too much. That the way the process was unfolding in Monrovia was just too much. However, the young student at the University of Liberia was anxious to eat up whatever words that was coming from the progressive. And when the student got hold of those, I told you guys, I was at GW Gibson. Wilson Tappe used to be my teacher, economic teacher at GW Gibson. Well, not economic, but accounting. But when he comes to class, 15-minute accounting, the rest of it is about how the two-way party is destroying the country people in General Gibson. Okay, I have another professor who's a counselor, Samson Carter, who was, I believe he had a relationship with Deacon Carter. Yeah, okay, Carter. Yeah, that's right. Maybe that was his brother. Yeah, it is the brother. But the guy very smart too, very very smart. Samson Carter, very smart. He would teach us literature and bring in the Greek and the Metaphonia, whatever nonsense. I don't know what those things are, but the Greek mythology and all that kinds of stuff. And he would go back. Then he would bring us into present day two-way party treatment of the Liberian people. So it is not that the progressive were not able to help the people. So what they did, and I'll say this much, then I'll close. So what the progressive did, which I thought, from my standpoint, I thought it was good, but it wasn't done properly. But then again, the backbiting of each other, it's not just not business. It's not just not business. The progressive themselves, they split into two when they were with PRC. There was certain group they decided that I know for sure. They decided to educate, to literally teach the PRC member like classes how to govern. When I left Liberia, it's an interesting thing here. In my own case, when I left Liberia, my little brother Nelson Toll was just what was he, sixth grade student. He was going to demonstration. I think he was, he couldn't read and write. But when I came back, a year later, when I got back in Monrovia, he had LP record player, like a record, the big LP for Malcolm X, for Dr. King. He has some from Gandhi. He has some stuff from some stuff that they play in English from Russia. What's his name? The guy with a beard, Koster or what? Karl Marx. And my little brother, it was. I wish it had not happened the way they did, because I remember one afternoon, this man that I left that couldn't even read and write, he had us sitting down in the living room and was lecturing in terms of policy. I couldn't believe it when he was doing that. And I'm thinking to myself, how did he get this? Nelson was talking about policy. But his position was, in order for all of us to benefit, he said that the army needed to go back to the barracks. And those who among them will have gotten education through LDU and what have you, they can run for political offices. But they cannot do it with a uniform on. And I couldn't believe that. Now, where's that group coming from? Who were the teacher for Nelson and the other group? Who were the teacher among the progressive? Stay tuned. Samson Toe. Folks, I know plenty. Let people come out here and tell me say I'm lying. Because some of the people, then look at me, I'm only 45-year-old. So there are people who are a little bit older than me, but they remember these things. They know it. Let them come out here and say I'm lying. Let them come out here and debate, and not only debate, but just come out and say, you lie. This is what happened. This is what happened. I've been telling you about the rest riot. Have I seen something here that is different from what I told you guys before? How? Let me say this again. TUI party. Well, I can't take this one right now. Okay. TUI party. Not TUI party. Power office. Right behind PUA. Now, those of you that are just as old as I am, you know the definition of PUA. I can't pronounce it here. Facebook will not want to kick me out, but Liberian will not come to my show again. Okay? So, that's the pronunciation we the Grenada boy Maria we know. Right there by Sonny Wayne. So when the people that light-skinned police guy told the police people, because the army people lined up around by the fence and they were not doing anything, the policeman came with his people. They're the one that say, okay, we don't say you can't demonstrate, but you stay in on your land. You stay out of this, and they push the people from the sidewalk to go into that fence. The fence, the brick fence was about maybe 4 feet high, and I believe it's about maybe 35 feet this way and 25 feet that way. And by that time, you have almost like 200-300 people at that time, and they want all of them to fit in it. So as they were pushing them from Getty Street, those that were facing the Ronald Street area, they jump on Ronald Street. That demonstration then go through Getty Street. It start from Ronald Street, go up Broad Street area, and take up. If I'm lying, you'll tell those of you that were dead. I know there are some people that are still alive that were dead that morning, that Saturday morning when it all started. You're coming and tell me say I lie. You're coming and tell me say the people, because the people were falling down into the Sony one, because the PUA building here, the power office here, between there, they got the Sony one there. The ditch. So people were falling into the ditch. And they decided they're going to go. When they got out on Ronald Street, April 14th started. Samson told, I'm happy to be alive. All right, folks. Like I said, any Liberian that are listening to this, you don't believe what I'm saying or you think I'm lying, come out and just tell us. We'll listen to you. We'll listen to you. This is Samson told Liberian Public Radio. I will try to finish the. I'm going to highlight some key points from the prosecution point now, because I really want to highlight. Oh, it's not too long. It's not too long. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna highlight. I'll just finish it. I'm not gonna do the defense stuff next week. I'll just finish it because I really want to read the statement from GAAPA. GAAPA. How did we get there? Who sold us? I hope I can find that. Okay. Again, folks, Samson told Liberia Mr. So, thank you very much. Sometimes you myself, we don't get along well. But the fact that you continue to stay with us as LPR, I really appreciate it. Prince Sherry, I tell you, say you are young. April 14th, double mistake. Prince Sherry, you started all kind of. You said you. I tell you, say you. I tell you, say you civil like. How can you not go join into my country business? April 14th, double mistake. Liberian stories. Sometimes, if you know the story a little bit about Liberia, you feel bad. Now, before I close, the building that I was living in, they have when you enter, they have 1, 2, 3 rooms on this side. They have one. Then God's room is the bigger one, so they have 5. Well, all 5 of them, they're all LU students except for me. All 4 of them LU students except for me. And so in the afternoon, they have radio. So we all sit down by the radio. And Toba was really, really into the radio business. When he finished talking there at night, he preaches. Even every Toba used to preach. So at night we listen to Toba preaching. Then when Montreal was not easy those days, we have Mona Ducle. She come and parade these people. Then that's the countryside. Then we have Benny D. Warner. Oh my goodness. I mean, it was like something about. Lastly, let me say this here for Aaron Brepler now. Aaron Brepler, your career playing soccer, I still say that those of you that play football in Liberia, prolong, especially the 70s and the 80s, well, 60, little bit, I didn't see 60 players, but 70s and early 80s players, they saved Liberia from civil war. The football business in Liberia is saved Liberia from civil war. And I will explain that next time. Samson told Liberia Public Radio, I want to thank all of you again this evening, this morning, this afternoon, or wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. What we're trying to do here, these are not easy subject matter. They're very difficult. Very, very. Before I have to do this thing, I have to consult my sibling. Because they don't like to talk about their brother. They don't. My dad, after Nelson died 1981, until my dad died 1987, he never, the day he died, he never spoke his name again until he died. He promised himself, I'll never call his name until I die. So my son in Ohio that I named after Nelson. So when my dad came, he never called his name. You know what he said? He always said, grandson, come here. Grandson, come here. He never called his name. So these are not easy subject matter. But we have to discuss it. I have to discuss them because I'm hoping that our brothers and sisters will understand that Liberian history has never always been about CDC and Unity Party. And we'll go into the formation of Unity Party yet sometime because I have all the paper. We'll go into those things. So once again, let's continue to pray for one another. It's been a wonderful, wonderful morning. Saturday morning. So, Aaron, do you know the person that called me earlier when I was Adonai give me power. Adonai give me power. You better watch your feet, see, Bubba. Experience Samson to coming to give you soccer. There's another soccer story I'll tell you before I leave. Yeah. If you don't understand, I used to live in the barracks. So behind the barracks, they have the ocean. I like the ocean. So right in front of the barracks, they have the robbers brothers. Two, one older and the other one small. So the younger one and us, we all went on the beach that day, swimming behind the barracks. And when the younger brother started drowning, and they ran to the house because the house was not too far. They ran to call. So when the older brother came, found his younger brother drowning over there, he went there to help. And his two brothers died. But the older brother was member, I believe he was playing for TUBMAN or something like that. And the soccer community in Monrovia that night in front of the robber house. Die, Nadio, die, Nadio, and what? Oh man, my people. Football business, they're not small team, Maria. Samson told. Was a good day to all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. Join us again next Saturday, where we will be, hopefully, Mr. So will allow us to do this, where we'll be able to give you some more information. Samson told. Good morning, good afternoon. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.